up, guys? I'm less awkward this week.
That's a big claim to make, considering we just started.
I just compared it to the last week.
Maybe if you said that at the end of the video. Welcome back to episode 2 of beSPOKE podcast. If you've come to episode 2, that means that like you somewhat liked episode 1, so that's probably a good thing. But we thought we'd start by talking about our weeks. So hit us with it. Last week, Matt was still dabbling with a little bit of a Achilles injury. So how's that gone into this week?
Should be okay, hopefully.
Is it sore? Matt.
It's not sore. I still ran.
But did you feel it today?
Maybe a little bit.
And you didn't feel it in the start of the week?
No, I did a little bit.
Wow.
I think it's like 95, 96%.
I thought it was gone.
Not completely gone, not 100%. But it's on the mend. It was like at 20%, now it's like at 96%.
Yeah, right.
No dramas. Managed to do a track session and a long run. Plus a few others without any problems.
Mm-hmm. A few bikes, maybe, kind of.
Yeah, a few indoor bikes because it's miserable weather.
Yesterday, does that count?
Miserable weather.
You can't blame the miserable weather for your questionable bike session.
Poor sleep.
Yeah. So those things. Yeah, right. Easy. Yeah, I'd say mine's pretty much the same. Actually, I had a really good session on Tuesday. I'm kind of like in the middle of coaches right now, so Matt gave me a session.
I'm one coach.
And it was actually a really good session to do. The weather at the start of the week was great. I also had a big ride on Thursday. It was like 5.5 hours, including some testing that did not go in my favour, but we'll try again maybe this week or the week after.
I feel like Jessie's biggest problem is she gets in her own head. She psychs herself out mentally.
Absolutely. I just need to like not look at my bike computer. I have like a very specific power goal that I want to hit for 3 minutes and for 12 minutes. Like I have a number in mind, and I feel like too early on, if I'm not getting that number, I just like psych myself out. So anyway, had a good session yesterday, and then this morning I did not do like my complete hours. I still finished up with like almost a 20-hour week. I think I need to like wiggle around how my weeks are going and shorten Sundays, because it's just like the back end of the week, the motivation is not all there, and I honestly just don't find it as enjoyable, especially because like Matt normally has a long run, so he's done early, and then I've still got like 3 hours to do, and it's kind of like you don't have a day, like we don't have a day together to do stuff, whereas like right now it's 9:45 on a Sunday and we've got nothing to do, and like that is not common.
Recording a podcast.
Well, yeah, but like normally I'm out on the bike and like you're doing your own thing, so just change that around. But also like random suggestion, if you haven't done, they don't do them all the time. I think it is only on a Sunday. Zwift run like the tiny races, and there's 4 of them every 15 minutes. They're good fun. They're like all like, it's like 12-minute effort, 11-minute effort, 10-minute effort, and then like the last one's like literally just a 5-minute effort, but they're really like spicy. So if you need a workout to do, I definitely suggest, give the tiny races a go. They're a bit of fun. But yeah, not a bad week all in all. Still hit like 550 Ks, I believe, so can't complain. But it does look like it's going to be a very wet week incoming. Was on the trainer yesterday and today, which is not my favorite thing to do, which doesn't help with the motivation at all, which is something that we want to talk about. So I guess like, what keeps you motivated? Like
nothing. I'm a very stubborn person. I don't need motivation. I just do it.
Just get it done.
I'm one of those people that's like, if If it's Sunday morning, I'm going for a long run.
But is that because like
Period.
it's on your training peaks and like you're motivated to like have everything done?
No, I think that's something with how I'm wired.
The hard wiring. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, when do I ever procrastinate a session?
Yeah, no, I would say like Matt and I are not the type of people that like it gets to like 10:30 and you're rolling out the door. Like we
I don't struggle with motivation.
Yeah.
I'm very disciplined.
Which I would say like honestly like we're kind of similar in that sense. Like Matt and I are very consistent with our training, which like does then have its consequences because it can be hard to slow down. And I feel like I had like a major bonk like maybe a month ago now.
What do you mean? Last week, mate. Peep the TikTok that
No,
you
that
posted
was
when
like-
Matt realizes
No, that was like a ride bonk. Whereas like it was like a couple weekends ago on a Saturday and I did like 15 minutes of the crit and I pulled out because I was just literally like in a hole. Like there was no getting out of that hole. And I had 3 complete days off the bike and felt like a new person after it.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with being disciplined. Sometimes you don't listen to your internal dialogue.
Yeah, and you kind of can get yourself into those situations where you probably shouldn't be training, which is good in the sense that like Matt will still just train, whereas like I often will like go to Matt for that like not like validation but like encouragement that it's okay to stop. Like this morning I did 90 minutes endurance, including warm-up, and then I did those with races, and then like I was kind of done. Like I said, I've already done like 20 hours this week. Like I'm a bit cooked. So I text Matt and was like, I really don't want
What should I do?
Yeah. So like having that other person to like support you through those decisions and like say like, no, like why, if you're just training to tick off like a time goal or like, you know, there's just no point. When you've done the hard stuff, what was coming after that was just easy endurance. It's like there's no point doing that to dig the hole deeper.
Hashtag I'm a coach.
He thinks he's a coach. Matt could be a great coach. Like Matt, when I first like started like really getting into cycling, Matt coached me, but it just ends in arguments.
When did we ever argue?
No,
she didn't think I was giving her enough. And
no,
then
like
she
I
was
think
suffering
because
with
like
energy.
because like
Okay.
having him there, like he could see exactly when I was like getting tired or whatever. So like he would reduce my sessions, which like pissed me off. Like one night I had a sore stomach, so I went to bed early, and then I woke up the next morning and like what was a 2.5 hour session, he changed to 90 minutes, and I was like, bro, I'm fine. So I guess with like a coach that's not that close to you, you can like avoid those situations and just like pretend that you're fine, which is a good and bad thing.
It's great.
Yeah, so maybe having Matt as my coach has its perks, but he's also not a professional, so
What coach is a professional?
like they coach professionals, you don't coach anyone.
The coach isn't a professional.
No, but like you have no like testimonials to be like, oh yes.
Well, I do now. Apparently it's a bad one.
No. Matt would actually be a great coach, and I've told him so many times that he should like consider coaching, but
Hit me up.
Alright, we are going to jump into some would you rather questions. I have a bunch of would you rather questions that I'm going to ask Matt. These are ChatGPT generated, so I hope that they provide a good laugh.
I can tell you're really invested in this.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Asking ChatGPT.
ChatGPT
You
comes
thought
up with some
real
great
hard.
things. No, well,
Okay, fire away.
okay, sorry. Would you rather do a 4-hour endurance ride in the rain or a 1-hour VO2 max interval session indoors?
1 hour VO2 max session indoors.
That's not even a question because Matt actually like.
I enjoy the trainer inside
Yeah.
because I hate traffic lights. I hate potholes. I hate shitty roads.
Yeah.
And I just hate, unless it's like, if I could ride in race conditions all day, every day, like closed roads,
Yeah.
no worries in the world about like traffic or other road users,
Yeah.
I'd ride outside all day.
Yeah. Matt's kind of an anomaly, so all these questions are like predictable answers of what generally wouldn't be chosen, but Matt would pick. Would you rather ride solo with perfect weather or ride with friends in brutal wind?
Solo perfect weather.
We don't really train a lot with people, I wouldn't say. We're definitely not like group trainers. I probably do like one ride a week with friends, unless I'm counting Matt. Like I'd ride with Matt all the time. But like, yeah, I wouldn't say.
I'll run with people.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're group riders.
Cycling, yeah, a lot of half wheelers.
Yeah. Would you rather climb a mountain or hammer on the flats for the same amount of time?
What bike am I riding?
Well, hammer on the flats, TT.
Okay, TT bike. On the
Speed.
flats. Riding a TT bike on the flats at speed, I feel like I could do for hours.
Yeah.
I just love the feeling of going fast in a predictable manner.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of going fast down a hill.
Yeah. Now this one could be controversial because I would say like 20% of the time I do, but Matt doesn't wear a heart rate monitor. And a lot of people are like obsessed with heart rate monitors, but would you rather train without a power meter or heart rate monitor?
Without a heart rate monitor.
Would you like to share like why you don't wear a heart rate monitor?
I have a pigeon chest.
But like if your chest wasn't like that, would you wear a heart rate monitor all the time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's only because when I wear a heart rate monitor, or a chest strap specifically, it doesn't fit my chest. Because it's like bowed. Like if you know Christian Blumenfeld, kind of like that, but worse. And it gives inaccurate readings or it slides down.
Yeah.
Or I have to wear it up high, which gives inaccurate readings.
I feel like they're just not comfortable. Like during racing, like I can like it either slides or like it's too tight.
Yeah, I want to try like the
breathing.
The Coros arm. I think Wahoo do one too. That like has I think it's an optical sensor.
What's that mean?
Like your wristwatch.
Yeah.
But
like
it sits on your like bicep region. I want to try one of them.
Yeah.
Because my wrist-based heart rate is wildly inaccurate. Every run I do, apparently my heart rate sits at like 177, and the amount of training peak new heart rate thresholds I set is like a weekly occurrence. Like, congratulations, you set a new heart rate threshold of 178 beats per minute. Meanwhile, it was like an easy 40-minute jog.
Dodgy. Would you rather do hill repeats or sprints?
Hill repeats.
Yeah.
Hill repeats.
Would you rather have a dream bike that never shifts correctly or a budget bike that runs perfectly? These ones are good.
That's actually quite hard.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to choose the budget bike that shifts.
Budget.
I think I'm a sucker for brand names, especially like bikes.
Yeah.
But
like if it's not going to shift.
Misshifting, that's not a pet peeve. Massive frustration.
Yeah. Not fun. Would you rather lose your GPS file after a huge ride or forget to start recording completely?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so I reckon I'd just rather forget to stop recording.
The outcome's the same.
Lose it. Yeah, you've lost it.
You don't have it either way.
Would you rather ride with squeaky brakes or a creaky bottom bracket?
Well, I don't brake, so squeaky brakes.
Because you don't do any elevation.
Put too much power through the cranks would be annoying.
Yeah. Would you rather forget your bottles or your bike computer?
Bottles. I'm really, 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 really bad with nutrition on the bike. So
yeah, let's not like. Matt is the worst person to speak to about nutrition on the bike. Like,
no, I'm the best person. I just don't actually follow the advice.
Oh well, yeah. Like in the past, like 3 months, I would say like I have increased or like improved my nutrition like dramatically on the bike, and then here's Matt, like literally non-existent.
Yeah, 0.
Which is so bad. So he could be a great triathlete, but he just doesn't feel himself. So unlucky.
Self-sabotage.
That one's we're not going to talk about that one because that's just going to spark controversy between tubeless and tubes, and I just couldn't do tubeless. So, would you rather bonk 10 miles from home or cramp up 1 mile from the finish line?
10 miles is like 15 Ks.
Yeah.
1 mile is like 1500.
No, but 1 mile to the finish line in a race or 10 miles from home in training?
Depends on the race. Am I winning the race?
Well, yeah.
Then
someone could
then
be right behind
then
you.
training.
I'd say training all the time. Like, you don't want to cramp up in a race.
No.
No
one cares about training. It's all about the race day.
Yeah. We know exactly Matt's going to say for this. Would you rather eat only gels on rides or only real food?
Gels.
Yeah. Again.
But we're different. I could just have carbs all ride. And you could do...
I require like food. Like if I don't have any sorts of like fat or protein, I get way too hungry. Anyone that's not watching the video version of this and is just listening and hears you woof midway is going to be very confused. Would you rather always feel slightly dehydrated or slightly underfueled on every ride?
Slightly underfueled.
Really?
Yeah, if you're slightly underhydrated, muscle cramps, can't push power.
Yeah.
Like at least if you're underfueled, you can
true.
Pump out zone 2.
Still.
If you're underhydrated, worst feeling in the world. Your muscles just wither away.
I need to change this question because it doesn't suit Matt. It says, would you rather give up coffee before rides or beer after rides? Now, he's never going to have beer after rides. So I'm going to say, would you rather give up coffee before rides or yogurt after rides?
Yogurt after rides.
Or protein shakes?
After ride?
Yeah.
Anything after the ride.
You have to have coffee before?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Not that caffeine doesn't affect me at all. 0% increase in heart rate or stimulant effect.
Yeah.
But like the act of having a coffee just makes me feel prepared.
Yeah. Now, this is something Matt can actually relate to because he's been in this situation before, but luckily we lived close. Would you rather forget your helmet or shoes on race day?
Shoes.
Shoes.
They won't let you ride without a helmet.
Yeah.
At least if you didn't have shoes, you could still ride. Or you could put your running shoes on.
True. That would be
Logically,
really hard.
I'm not saying it'd be great. You might as well just give up at that point.
Yeah. Would you rather be dropped on every group ride or be the person everyone drafts behind but never pulls?
Everyone drafts behind.
But you never take a turn?
No, but isn't the question, would I rather be dropped?
Yeah.
Or would I rather be the person on the front?
Well, but then it says but never pulls.
Yeah, no one ever comes around and you never get pulled along.
Ah, so you're doing the work the whole
Either
time.
you do the work all the time or you get dropped.
Absolutely.
I'd rather do the work.
That's a stupid question.
Well, some people hate sitting on the front whilst people draft behind them.
Yeah, well, if I don't know them, like if someone just... Matt and I, when we were doing a QOM, KOM attempt last weekend, we were like maybe 3 minutes from the end. It was about a 12-minute effort. And this guy like jumped on. And I like went like this behind me, like... like
Bugger off.
Literally piss off. Like you can see like we were grinding like max effort and just like jumps on to like have a turn. And it's like, well, no, not have a turn, but like jump on for the ride. And it's like, he was just chilling. We easily passed him. So like he had to then sprint to jump on. And it's like, I genuinely don't understand why people do this because like at any point I could like pull up because my effort's done because Matt and I know what I'm doing. But mate behind me doesn't know what I'm doing. So like what happens when I pull up and then he's like bushka? You know what I mean?
Bushka.
Drives me nuts.
Typically a 40-year-old middle-aged man in lycra.
Saggy jersey.
With the bike pump hanging out.
Yeah.
His banana. His phone.
Honestly.
His tube. His tire.
Good on him for getting out there, but like genuinely, no thank you. Do not draft off me.
Segment done. Your must-haves as a cyclist.
Yeah, 5 must-haves. Okay, this is like I don't know if like, are you saying like physical things?
What do you mean?
Like, does it have to be a physical
No,
thing?
just 5 must-haves. If you were talking to them and you're like,
what I would say,
hey, cyclist out there.
number 1 would say headphones, because like I do not go on a ride without music or a
That's
podcast
another
or
difference
something.
between us. I can go 6 hours
Silent.
solitude.
Yeah. Whereas like my music's not normally high unless I'm doing efforts. I just like it in the background. Like, or like if I'm out up at the sunny coast, like Hintsland when there's no cars, like that's when I'll put on a podcast so I can actually hear it. But like I need to have something. I need to be listening to something. Number 2, I would say bike computer / power meter, because again, I feel like when you know what you're doing kind of thing. Like if you were going aimlessly, I think that would drive me nuts. And I feel like I 95% of the time need a map on my bike computer because I don't have good directional ability. So I would say bike computer. Number 3, a good bike fit, because I never complain post-ride about any sort of pain. Him, on the other hand, like can't sit on his seat half the time, like he's wiggling around. So
Waiting for Dr. Stanbury.
yeah, he's waiting. The guy that did my bike fit, he is very tricky to get into. So Matt, although got a new bike,
Waiting game.
yeah, his bike position is in need of work because it's causing him some pain. But I'd definitely suggest, not even like if you're not in pain, but like it can completely change like your ability to push power, aerodynamics. Like there's just so many benefits to actually being able to have a proper position on your bike. So recommend that. Number 4, like decent kit, because honestly, what?
You're kind of I don't know how to say this appropriately.
What?
Your recommendations are very prestigious.
What's that mean?
Like, not for the average person.
Well, like, what would you say is average then?
Power meter?
Well, like, what else would you say?
Lights?
And
I would say lights,
yeah.
purely just for safety, peace of mind. I would say clipless pedals, which is counterintuitive because they're actually clip pedals, like cleats.
Yeah, so you would say cleats over, like, a bike computer?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Lights, cleats, proper nutrition.
Yeah, take a muesli bar, you'll be fine.
You would rather have a music bar over like a bottle of Gatorade?
Okay, fair.
Like people would just go for a ride and take water.
True.
Like lights, cleats, proper source of carbs. I would say the average person, basic bike knowledge. Like a clean bike
Yeah.
with wheels that are pumped up. The amount of people I ride past whose bike sounds horrible and they're running like flat tires, it must be so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like just imagine if you were riding
Actually,
something clean and
especially with like a clean, well-lubed chain, like makes a world of difference.
yeah.
100%. You have one more.
I would say some kind of objective data tracking, like Training Peaks or Strava,
Yeah.
because
so
otherwise people just go and they ride and they don't actually know what they've done. Like you ask your grandmother how many steps you do, all of them think they do like 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah, whereas like they probably do like 2.
And it's just good to see where you started.
Well, it's hard to
then
progress,
where you are.
especially if you're just doing the exact same rides every single week. Like you can't expect yourself to get any better. Whereas at least like if you're seeing on Training Peaks like a progression in average speed or whatever.
Yeah, when you improve and you actually become consistent in cycling, I would say things like power meters.
Well, I wasn't talking
kits.
about like off the bat. I was talking about like
Well, they're essentials,
general.
aren't they?
Yeah. I'm talking about like
I would say
my type of essentials.
Pinarello Dog Marafe,
I would still pick a Canyon.
map, kit.
Yeah, like honestly, the difference that Comfy Kit makes, like the first kit that I got, I'm not going to say the brand, but like after like a couple rides, like it gets saggy.
Yeah, or bib shorts.
Yeah, 100%.
And need.
Comfy bibs that like, because
Without,
the difference.
and you don't wear underwear with bib shorts.
Yeah, don't do that. That's silly.
And sorry,
Coming up one more time.
appropriate length socks.
Oh yeah, pull your socks up. Seriously, if you're wearing ankle socks, I can't.
That should be the next segment.
Yeah.
Cycling do's and don'ts.
Cycling do's and don'ts, because honestly, there's a lot of don'ts I can think of. Like, get off my wheel, unless you want to say, like, if someone says to me, hey, can I jump on? Absolutely. Don't jump on my wheel. So. You didn't say end segment.
End segment.
Why are we leaving that in?
You did last time.
True. Alright, last one was supplements.
The only supplement I take is creatine. That's it.
Which, like,
Period.
took Matt a while to actually even get on. I just need to go and double check which supplements I actually take. Like, not which... That
Although,
sounds so bad.
Technically, I do take bicarb soda.
True.
Which
Very
is
true.
supposed to act as a buffering agent to delay the onset of fatigue by having a buffer for like lactic acid production. I inadvertently take it because I mix it with my yogurt.
But, like...
So if you have high protein yogurt, bicarb, some sweetener, bonus tip if you add Muscle Nation custard, mix it all together, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Otherwise that's it for me. I don't take anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I have creatine. I've also started taking L-glutamine, which I'm reading off the Bulk Nutrients website because that's where I got it from. These are all suggested by my dietitian, Ideal Nutrition, Sammy. She's amazing. She's helped me so much. But L-glutamine, the benefits include muscle recovery, supporting a stronger immune system, and helping to prevent muscle wastage. So I can't say I know too much about it, but like she suggested it from a recovery perspective. Obviously creatine, I'm just scrolling down on the website because honestly don't actually remember the
You don't know what you
names.
take?
No, I know the third one is beta-alanine, but I'm just waiting to like hit it on the website for it to tell me the actual like scientific explanation. Otherwise, I'm going to butcher it. The other one
take a
is
supplement if you don't know what
no, I know what it does. It helps with but I want to read it off here because that's genuine. Joint complex, that's just to support joint health.
Side note, if you're a pure cyclist, you should start running.
Yeah, let's get onto that. Let me finish this.
Well, why don't you have a list ahead of schedule, man?
Because
you're reading
it's
through
just...
600 different...
Alright, I'm just going to so the last one is beta-alanine. Let me tell you. The scientific...
0% scientific backing.
Enhances performance by increasing exercise capacity and decreasing muscle fatigue. Essentially, what they say is the benefits, this is in the most basic explanation of how I understand it. At the end of a period of exercise, it allows you then to continue to push more. So the benefits within cycling are that at the end of a road race, you're supposedly able to hold a higher sprint power when taking beta-alanine. So
caffeine does the same.
Matt used to be so against, you wouldn't even take creatine too.
I would, I just never had it.
Then once you did, it was oh my god.
No, but creatine has 30 years of research backed.
Well, you watch, beta-alanine will be next, and then it's boom. What were you saying before that I said we'd come back to?
You're talking about beta-alanine. Trying to find
what we were saying is that cycling does not induce any load to your bones, nor does gym.
You're at a higher risk if you're a pure cyclist of osteoporosis compared to that of a sedentary person.
Yeah.
Basically, a cyclist versus someone that's sedentary has a greater risk of osteoporosis because they don't have any loading on their bones.
Yeah.
So therefore, unless you're a mountain bikers are great.
Yeah,
if you're a pure cyclist, you need to have something to load your bones because bones are anti-fragile. meaning they need impact to make sure that they stay strong. That's why astronauts lose their bone density
There you go.
and muscles.
So I feel like I've been pretty consistent with like somewhere in the realms of 3 to 4 kilometer run per week. So it's not much, but that's all you need. So if you're not doing it, try and at least get some sort of load into the bones for your old body's sake.
Yep. Sure.
All right, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to say?
Not really.
Easy. Well, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, anything you want us to talk about in the next episode, make sure you comment them down below. Otherwise, see you next Wednesday.
See you later. Bon
See ya.
voyage. Adios.
We're going to do this again.
Cut. I need to learn more languages.
Cut.
What do the cool kids say these days?
Womp womp.
No, they have like, what is it? Is it Gen Z?
Yeah.
Their lingo.
See ya.
Is it? Like, it's gonna be something like Sigma, Alpha, Delta.
Kids. All right, cut.